All right, everybody. We are live on Facebook. Man, guys, I'm super excited to be able to share some information that's made a positive difference in my life. My name is Jarrad Abshire. I am an executive consultant with Ambit Energy, and I've been with the company for just over about 11 years. And I'm going to do a screen share here and kind of fix my adjustment here and fix the window. Somebody taught me something. Actually, another national consultant, Hanan Oxenhandler, kind of gave me some feedback on some of the presentations that we're doing. And if you're not familiar with Zoom, wow, it's a powerful tool to be able to help you share information with people and just to connect with people. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, it's very paramount that we stay as connected as possible. I know that the term came up with social distancing and that sort of thing, but we don't want to be apart from communication, right? So we can use the power of technology and tools to be able to connect with individuals and really just love on people and check and see where they are. And so I'm checking my feed here. Hopefully that screen will help make me look a little bit bigger in the top corner there. But so I'm really excited about sharing some information with you. Again, welcome. My name is Jarrad Abshire. I'm an executive consultant with Ambit Energy. And the purpose for this webinar today is to share with you an opportunity to take advantage of deregulation and save money, make money, or both. And in the process of doing that, make some positive differences in your life and make some changes. So I've been with the company for the past 11 years. I used to be a high school band director, and I'm going to show you a couple of pictures and kind of poke fun at myself. Not make fun of myself, but just kind of show you who I am a little bit. I am in the top 30 income earners of the company, and I've got a beautiful family. I've got a 6-year-old boy named Owen and a 3-year-old girl named Jocelyn, and my wife Amy. We've been married for almost 15 years now, and for the last 11 years, this company basically has changed our life and given us some real true options that we didn't have before. Wasn't unsatisfied as being a band director. Matter of fact, I really missed the relationships with the kids the most. But some things changed over the years, and I had an opportunity to really reinvent myself and do something on a part-time basis, and ultimately it turned into a full-time opportunity. So I kind of wanted to go through that with you a little bit. Sorry about that, working on my clicker here. Excuse me. So I was a band director. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys these pictures up here because this was when I was actually in grad school as the, kind of the basketball and volleyball band director, so to speak. And this actually was a year I was in at Texas Tech when Coach Bobby Knight was the basketball coach. So, man, I tell you, that was a lot of fun. If I could just be a college director, that's kind of what my goal was originally when I went to school. It was just so much fun being around that atmosphere. On the right-hand side up here, that's I majored in education, music education. I played French horn primarily. Then when I started my career back teaching in 2006 and 7, I was a high school band director. This was me in 2007. That was like the super skinny version of me. I weighed about 35 pounds higher than I do now, right now, about 2 years ago. So I'm trying to slim back down as much as I can for health reasons. Primarily, I want to be around for my family as long as possible. And I wrote marching band and drill and those type of things. So it was just a lot of fun and time that I spent. Again, I miss the kids. I didn't dislike everything, but I just wanted to have freedom of time and then also money to be able to do what we want to do with our family, primarily have my wife be a stay-at-home mom ultimately. That did happen in 2003. So I started with the company in 2009. So it took a couple of years. It didn't happen overnight. I'm gonna stress that very importantly about our income disclosures and those type of things. But this was me in 2009. This was actually the very same year that I started Ambit Energy. I was still highly invested in teaching. I had a couple of full-time gigs that I was doing on that and consulting wise. And I was actually in an all-age drum and bugle corps that was for anybody that was over 21. And we did travel the country to a couple of places, and I was the drum major and the drill writer and the visual ranger for all that. So this performance was in New York in 2009 at the same time our national convention was. So, I didn't go to our national convention the first year I joined the business. And the next year, I really caught the vision of the company, of the leadership, and we've just exploded through the industry, and most people haven't even heard about us. So I'm about 90-ish, 80, 90 days from, technically qualifying for being in the Millionaire Club. So it's not a public declaration or anything like that, but I have to earn it first before they award it. But I'm super excited. So that's kind of what the story is today with the presentation. So I have been featured in a couple of magazines of the company, and I'm just kind of just sharing this to give you a little bit more background on myself and where I came from. And because I didn't have a super high belief level in myself to be able to do anything different than what I kind of would train myself to be as a band director. But I've won a couple of awards with the company, been on a couple of the magazines, featured in the articles. that we do every single year from Success Magazine. They own a sister publication called Success from Home magazine. On the billboard on the right hand side, that was back in 2010 when it was just kind of billboard stuff was super cheap, and I didn't pay for this. I promise you, I do not pay for billboards. We have very low overhead for us as business owners. That's what I love about the company, one of the dynamics. But corporate was kind of doing that because billboards were super cheap back in 2010. It was just kind of brand awareness back then. But that's a key dynamic with our company. We spend very little on advertising as a company, and we focus on independent consultants. Now, you do get to compete if you promote twice in our compensation plan, which I'm going to go over that here in just a second. And I'll promise I'll whip through this as fast as possible, so we can get you guys on with the rest of your day. But when you promote twice to the level of senior consultant, you can compete for an Ambit Energy exclusive 5-star club trip. Now they say 5-star trip, but it's more like 6-star. This was the first time I won the event, which was in 2018. So I'd been in the business for a long time. It never performed at a high enough level to be able to earn a trip. But that was the first time my wife and I earned the trip, and that was in the Bahamas. And it's super cool. I mean, we had a butler. We actually had 3 butlers. Okay. And you could basically text them or call them anytime, day or night. And they would be like, "Hey, how can we help you? Yeah. You want me to come fluff your pillow?" They had no irons in the room. You couldn't iron something even if you wanted to. So, I mean, it was just super nice, and it was all expense paid by the company. And 26 couples per 6-month period win that contest. And there's points and requirements of what you have to do to be able to win the contest. And it's all based on the things that our company wants us to do, which is to help people gather customers and show other people how to do the same thing. So that's kind of be the feature. There's a couple of pictures of the most recent trip. It was again in the Bahamas. They gave us a sweet deal. So the company took us back to the same resort, which, man, it was even better the second time. A couple of cool things for me, it was about building memories for me, giving you options. My wife and I are with the former CEO and the founder of the company, grandson of 7-Eleven, Jerry Thompson Jr. We took a day trip over to Atlantis, the Bahamas. I got to hang out with one of the VPs of Ambit GK Japan, Yoshi. He was there, and a couple of the Japanese consultants. My good friend, I consider him a mentor. He's part of my organization, national consultant, top 10 income earner, Doug Parker. This is his temporary office for the couple of days we were there, the rough life there. And then us at dinner, at the farewell dinner, and that trip we took to Atlantis, and we got to swim with the pigs, my wife and I. That was pretty sweet. I'd never done that before. Those bad boys are super nice, and they just come out and eat a bunch of food, and you just kind of swim with them and pet them and stuff and all that. So anyway, it really was something that I never would have paid for myself. I would have not spent the money, certainly as a band director. But even now, I mean, it's a very expensive trip to go and spend that kind of money. And it's an all expense trip paid by the company. So, all right, so let's get to the nitty gritty of it. I'll talk to you about the exciting stuff, because I mean, it really has made a positive difference, and it's just memorable. I'll never forget those trips with the VPs of the company. We're excited about going to Cabo in October. That trip was postponed because of stuff that's going on right now. But man, we're super excited. There's going to be a whole bunch of happy Ambit consultants there that have earned and won that trip, and the new group that's competing right now. So, what I want to talk to you about today, real briefly, is an opportunity to just buy back some time freedom and options, right? So we all know that it's great to make money and it's great to make more money, but there's got to be a reason as to why you'd want to spend that money and what that money would allow you to do from an option standpoint. Not everybody is in this business to make $5,000, $10,000 a month or more, although there's consultants that have done that and are currently doing that now. But most people on average, if they had an extra $300-$500 a month on a part-time basis, and it wasn't related to a part-time job, that would make a huge difference. Now, I don't know what kind of difference that would make, because everybody's different. But for me, 11 years ago, when I was a band director, I was looking and open-minded to making extra money. And because being a high school band director at a competitive district, I was in Frisco, the kids perform at a very high level, and it's very time intensive for the kids, but it's even more time intensive for the teachers and the directors, because extracurricular. So, what for me, I wanted to make an extra $200-$300 a month, because that was like a 10% pay raise after salary and benefits, and you get great benefits as a teacher, and there's built-in retirement. So I was not complaining in any shape, form, or fashion at all. But you would have to work for about 25, 30 plus years before you could retire on about 40 to 60% of your highest salary. So I knew that I was gonna have to work anyway for 25, 30 years. I said, what if I could build something part-time and make that extra $200 a month where I didn't have to work a graveyard shift? Because at that time, I just want to be real clear about, what happened was what was going on in my mind at that time is that minimum wage was about $7.15 an hour. So I was working 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours per week as a high school band director. And I didn't have time to go get a graveyard shift at $7.15 an hour so that I could work 20 hours a week or even 20 hours a month to net $100 after taxes on that W-2 income. So that was my mindset. I was like, look, I don't have any experience in direct sales. I don't have any business experience. I had a tough time spelling the word entrepreneur. I think I pretty much got it now. It's kind of a longer word when you think about it. It's got a lot of ease in it and everything. But my point is that I wanted to find something that I could do on an earn while you learn basis in tandem with what I already knew I was going to do anyway. I had to teach, I had to go and do that to be able to produce income for my family long term. And if I was going to work for 25, 30 years anyway, what if I could build a business that had a residual income component to it to where I could do the work over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, and then look up and have a residual income that met that windfall of the 40 to 20% or so, 40 to 50% that I wouldn't get in retirement after teaching for 25. I think it was like 28 years was the magic number at that time when I was teaching with state of Texas to retire on that, 50 to 60% of your highest salary. So if I can make up that windfall in a residual income with another part-time business that allowed me to do that and not have to work an extra 20 hours per week to do it, and over time, would that be worth it for me to do something different, even though I didn't really understand what I was doing or had any business experience? So the income disclosure that we do have to disclosure to tell everyone is that this is not a guarantee of any type of income. It's 1099. What you do and what someone else does is not a benefit or guarantee of anybody's performance or what they're going to make with the company. We've got the income disclosure listed on there on our website, and you can check that out. It's on all of our consultant websites. But what I do want to mention is that once you do get started with the business and after you grow a team, which I'll share with you in a second how that works, it's not just based on your efforts, it's based on the collective effort of your team. So this has a proponent of it to you do the work one time, start the chain reaction, start that flow of referrals, and that can potentially help you make more income in the future. So with that being said, I want to kind of get into the presentation here. My clicker's not working great, so I'm going to have to reach down to the computer here, but that's okay. So our company was founded in 2006 by entrepreneurs. I mentioned one of them, Jerry Thompson Jr. He is the grandson of the founder of 7-Eleven. Just a tremendous man that we all respect and love for what he was able to do is start this company, which was in 2006. And he already had experience running with multi-billion-dollar companies before. And also our former CMO of the company, Chris Chambliss, who was the senior VP of Excel, that was the fourth long distance provider behind AT&T, MCI, and Sprint. And then there was this little company from Addison, Texas called Excel Communications. And in their 7 to 8 year run, when they first were really growing quickly, they stole away 6 million long distance customers from AT&T. And I say steal away, it's just they gave them a better option and said, look, would you want to pay less for your long phone distance bill if it didn't cost you anything? And 6 million people said, yeah, we'd like to do that. And then consultants helped that opportunity to happen. And so that's huge in the industry. They disrupted that industry and gave choice in telecommunications. And the same thing is really happening with electricity and natural gas all across the country. So we're a relationship driven business. We have over $1 billion in annual revenue. Matter of fact, we are ranked as the #1 largest direct selling energy company in the world. And that's actually for the last 8 years. And about 2.5 weeks ago, the Dallas Global 100, the DSN, does a global 100 of all the network marketing companies in the world, whether they're product-based, service-based, doesn't matter if it's product or a service, doesn't matter. You think about it, there's a lot of services and businesses that are brought to the market from individuals as opposed to mass advertising. I didn't know this, but Tupperware does like over $2 billion a year in direct sales. When's the last time you've seen a Tupperware commercial? You probably, everybody that's watching this right now has a bunch of Tupperware that's in their cabinet. I know I do. I think they're like at around 2 point something billion. I mean, it's crazy how much Tupperware that they sell. But we did 1.3 billion last year. So we were ranked as the 10th largest direct selling company of any network marketing company in the world, whether they sell chocolate, juice, makeup, skincare, products, candles, stamps, chocolate. It doesn't matter what it is. Insurance companies, real estate. Where I'm from here in Texas, Keller Williams is a pretty big real estate company. They have a direct selling model. So of all those companies in the world, we're the 10th largest. And again, most people haven't even heard about us. So we were recognized in the Inc. 500 magazine back in 2010 as the fastest growing privately held company in America. And we've been on that Inc. 500, 5,000 list every single year since then. A plus Better Business Bureau rating since inception. We have very low amount of registered actual valid complaints, but all of the complaints that have been filed on the A plus Better Business Bureau ranking have been resolved in a timely manner. That's the only way you can maintain that A plus rating. So feel free to check that out. We're super proud of that compared to our competitors and other companies in the industry, energy related. So we recently merged with Vistra, and this is so exciting. This was back in November, and Vistra is basically a $13 billion market cap company. They're publicly traded. They're the largest residential generator of power in North America. And when you're a company, Ambit Energy, which is a licensed retailer in 16 states in DC and Japan and Alberta, Canada is our first province in Canada that we're competing in. I'll show that in just a second. When you buy the energy from your dad, which is that's our parent company now. Okay, they're not the middleman anymore. You're getting it directly from the source. So that's one of the primary reasons why we have really great, secure, low rates for a long term. Super excited here in Texas, and why in most of our markets in the Northeast for electric and gas, we provide a guaranteed saving in many of our markets where, look, you're guaranteed to save money over the current company that's been billing you for decades. You're going to get the same bill. How would you like your bill to be lower instead of higher if it didn't cost anything? I mean, that's the key fundamental in many of our markets in the Northeast. So it's super exciting to be able to offer something to your friends, family, coworkers, relatives, neighbors that's going to actually help them save money. It's not going to cost them more money. So at the heart of our building block of how we gather customers and show other people how to do the same thing is that we make recommendations every single day. We just don't get paid for them. You think about Facebook, it's huge now. Facebook and LinkedIn and Google and Pinterest and Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all those companies, they didn't spend very much, if little money on advertising when they first got started. Other companies pay them because they're the advertisers and they want the data from Facebook. They want the data from Google so they can sell their product and services or offer their things to customers that are actually interested in those. If you ever notice, obviously, if you go onto Google and you search for mattresses and then you log on to Facebook, if you're part of Facebook, you like it or not, I mean, you get permission for that when you use, your phone and Siri and everything else. But, you wonder why you always see the mattresses posts that show up on your Facebook wall. It's because advertisers pay for that data to Facebook, and they'll get to the people who actually are looking for mattresses. I mean, it's a brilliant idea. And Facebook and Google became multi-billion-dollar corporations on the power of word of mouth advertising, except none of us, we don't get paid for that, for using Facebook or how many friends we have. Imagine if Facebook told you they would give you $50 in cold hard cash, okay? Cash App, Venmo, whatever, we've got these cool sources today, PayPal, send people money right away when they, you split a check on a restaurant or whatever. It's cool technology that we're leveraged today. And they paid you $50 cold hard cash every time someone accepted your friend request, then the new work from home opportunity would be getting friends on Facebook. I promise you I'd get some of that also, but that doesn't exist because that's just not how it's arranged. Okay. But that's how our company is actually arranged. So before I kind of go over this, I want to give you some quick little facts here. So our company, even though we started about almost 14 years ago, we gather customers and help people, electricity, natural gas, and solar customers in all of our markets. And I'll kind of show you the picture of that toward the end of the presentation. But we gather a handful of customers, people we know, love, and trust, people that we have a relationship with, or that we build a relationship with, and they refer us to customers because we do a good job, and we help them save money. It could be a church, it could be an organization, it could be a business, doesn't matter. And then we show other people how to do the exact same thing. So currently we help so many customers, Ambit Energy as a company, and I say we because every independent consultant is part of that, the success of Ambit. We have the corporate employees, the call center in Plano, and what goes on in Japan also as well, and then Canada. And that's all part of how we build our brand and build our customers and the loyalty of our customers and retain them. Obviously, Vistra and Ambit on the corporate side help us with all those things, and they over and abundantly reach out and help us with so many tools. I'll share a couple of those with you that just blow my mind even today after being involved 11 years. But we do, as Ambit Energy, a company, about 50 million in sales every 2 weeks. We don't sell a product that people don't have to have. Okay. So all we're doing is helping people keep their electricity, natural gas, and solar. Okay. In many cases in our markets, we have solar. There's no cost if the person qualifies, and it's a lease for 20 years that guarantees them to save about 10 or 15%. And it helps the environment, and they don't have to pay anything in many cases, and they just save the money on their electricity bill. It's cutting people in California like 15 to 20% on their electricity bills. And in California, the electric bills have a comma in it typically, and they're about the same as a mortgage in Texas. It's crazy, but it's powerful because it helps the environment and it helps the customer save thousands of dollars a year.
Sales every 2 weeks just by keeping people's lights and gas and solar and help them save money on that. So just keep that in mind as I go through this, because I'm not asking people to pay more for something that's already in their budget. We're asking, hey, if you're this customer that's already in your budget, would you like it to be more? Or would you like it to be less? Okay, and if you get some benefits out of referring people to that same opportunity of saving, okay. So
I'm going to be talking about the income opportunity specifically and how you can make money by referring customers, by becoming a customer yourself if you live in a service area. For the first 5 years that I was an energy consultant, I lived in a co-op area where I could not be a customer. So I just helped my parents initially with their free energy, and then they became consultants and got their own customers to get free energy. Still to this day, they still have that for the past 10 years plus now. But this is the way that we gather customers and make income on a part-time basis as a consultant with Ambit Energy. So you'll see here on the screen, we gather customers. And if you gather 3 customers, in Texas, it works a little bit differently. You get 2 Texas customers, but for the purpose of our presentation and promotion wise, if you'll get 3 customers in your first 28 days, and you get started in the business, you'll get a $100 jumpstart bonus for doing that. So you can switch your own service and go to your neighbor and your other neighbor, or call your mom, like I called my parents and then my in-laws who live just a little bit north of us. And that was how I got my first 2 Texas customers to make that first $100 bonus. And that's just the model of, how we produce income every single month for our consultants, and how the customer makes profitability, how the company makes profitability of that 50 million in sales every 2 weeks by doing this exact same thing, just over and over and over and over and over again, to the point that we have over 1.2 million energy customers since inception. And when I show you kind of the market about what's available, you're really just going to be blown away. And I still am constantly about what's ahead of us in the next decade. I'm more excited about that than I've ever been. But here's the kicker, okay? As a customer, or certainly as a consultant, you have the opportunity to participate in Ambit Energies that I've never seen like any other company. A lot of the companies do promotions and things like that, direct mail. That's super expensive for the company to send all those things out. And that probably does work more now than previously because a lot of people are home. But our program is powerful because it's a free energy credit program that any Ambit customer, no matter what market they live in, if they have electricity service or if they have natural gas, they can refer 15 electric customers. They can refer 15 gas customers in any of our markets. And then our company will take those customers. So let's say, for example, I mean, take the customers, not a negative thing, but they're going to take those bills of those customers that save money with us. And let's say you have 5 customers in Pennsylvania that get on our guaranteed service that's got 24 months guaranteed savings, that you are guaranteed to pay less than what you're paying with the current incumbent that's been billing you for your entire life. You get the same bill and it doesn't cost you anything. And by the way, if you don't like saving money on your bill with our little name as a supply charge, you can switch back at no penalty, get the same exact bill, and get the overpriced supply charge that you were already getting for the past couple of decades. And we're not going to penalize you for it. Okay. But you got 5 electric customers in Pennsylvania. You've got 4 electric customers in Illinois. And then that's 9. Okay. And the math is a little fuzzy here. And then you got 6 electric customers in Texas. So they're going to aggregate all those supply charges and all those bills. And if they're at least they're 15, so you may need a little buffer to make sure that 15 people qualify and pay their bill on time. But they'll average those 15 supply charges together. And let's say it equals $100 for that snapshot for next month. If your bill, let's say it was $160 or $150 because it was a summer, whatever it was. If your supply charge of your electricity usage was $110, then you would get a minus $100 credit. and you would only have a $10 energy charge. And in most of our customers, in many cases, like myself, with my bill that I give the free energy to my in-laws, essentially, their typical bill is literally very close to zero because their energy charges that like zero because you get a credit big enough because you've been referring customers. Now, you might be surprised to know, but our company of energy has given away $44 million in free energy since the program started in 2010, and that's powerful. And customers participate. Okay, let's get back to the making the money side. Okay. So you get started in the business, you get 3 customers or 2 in Texas, you make $100 in bonus. Okay. And then you do the second thing, which is help others. You share this opportunity with somebody that you know, love, and trust, you respect, that you're just asking them, how are things going? They're like, hey, you ever thought about starting a secondary income stream? They say, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'd love to look into it. You can refer them to one of our national presentations or have them watch the 12-minute video that all of our consultants have, which I'll share with you as a tool here in a minute. But they take a look at the video, they come onto the webinar, you get them on the line with one of your mentors like myself. We answer their questions. They say, I'm ready to get started. You sponsor them into the business, and they get their 3 customers in their first 28 days. They make $100 jumpstart bonus, but because you're their sponsor and showed them how to do what you did, gathered a couple customers, you make a $100 team builder bonus. Okay. So this is just an example of leverage where your new consultant, Bob, that's a friend of yours that would like to make a secondary income stream on a part-time basis, much like I did 11 years ago. He gets a handful of customers, switches his own service, switches his mom and his brother. He makes a $100 bonus. You make a matching 100. So that's the process of helping other people do the exact same thing. And then long term, all you have to do is do the exact same thing. You get someone started, help them gather a couple customers. They make a one-time bonus. You make a matching one-time bonus. And we always run special promotions. We have one this month also, as well. It's just released today. Super excited about it. Get back with the person that invited you. Or if this is playing on someone's wall because they did a watch party, they may not have talked to you personally yet, but the reason that they're sharing is because it's making a positive difference in their life. So get back with the person that you're watching this on their wall, send them a private message and just say, hey, look, I took a look at your presentation, your watch party. I'd love to follow up with you and just ask you some more questions to see if this is something that I could do myself and maybe help my family make some additional income. Or it could be because you're watching this presentation and you are good to go. You're like, hey, everything's going great in my world. Not my cup of tea for an energy type business. I don't want to do part-time. Maybe you consider becoming a customer, but consider sharing this video or referring to someone that you know that may be open to making a secondary income stream in their life, and that can make a positive difference. But what I want to share with you long term, I talked to you at the beginning about residual, right? To me, it's just basically means you do the work one time, you get paid next month, next year, 5 years, in my case, 11 years that I've been in the business now, that I have customers still on the service, like my in-laws and my parents and my grandmother that live in South Houston. They've been my customers since inception, basically. So for almost 11 years, they still pay their bills every month. They're saving money. They're happy. And Ambit's going to profit share every time they pay the electric bills with the independent consultants. Okay. So this is a matrix. It's not a guarantee of income. It says here at the bottom, it's demonstration purposes only. You can check the income disclosure that we have posted. So go make sure you do check that and look at it. Again, this is about doing the work and getting paid for your efforts and staying consistent and persistent. But let's just say that you got your 20 customers, because that's all you need to get qualified to get paid in every way that we get paid in the compensation plan with the company. And then if you gathered 3 motivated consultants, okay, and I say motivated consultants because we just can't control what other people do. The only thing that we can control is what we do, okay? So you may have to find more people than your next door neighbor or some other consultant has to find before you really find some business partners that are going to stick with this consistently and give it a part-time effort for the next 3 to 5 years or even longer than that, because it takes some time, energy, and effort and consistency for sure. So you would have 3 consultants on what we call your first level. And then if they found 3 motivated consultants, and you may have a handful of unmotivated folks that just gather a few customers, but what if they just want to get free energy and just gather a handful of customers? They don't want to be a build a business of consultants. That's great. Those customers still count to pay you. That's the point. But you start the chain reaction, and those 3 who gather 3 over time, you would have over 3,200 consultants total in your sales organization. Okay. And then those consultants, all they did was just gather 3 customers each, because again, all they wanted to do, or maybe from a performance standpoint, all they were able to do was to get their own service and then 2 other customers. They made that initial $100 bonus. And then the team, the sponsor made the $100 bonus after that. And then they didn't do anything else after that. Okay. And that's okay. It's not our job to make other people successful. It's our job to give consultancy information so they can make themselves successful. That's coined from our number one income earner, Master Yoda, Brian McClure, who, if you're interested, we'll have information on this page about the Sunday night call that we have on there. But we just try to open the eyes to everybody and let them know that this is going to take some work and it's going to take some time. But you can do it if you have some consistent, persistent effort over time. Your consultants who gathered 3 customers each, that would be over 9,800 customers that you would get paid on every single month. Okay. So just think of this as a perspective of, I get something started, I help a few consultants, and then that potentially has possibility to grow and grow and grow exponentially, even without you necessarily doing the work. But you get something started. That's the point. Banding basically means we get this commission based on the lowest level of energy usage for a customer, electric or gas. Okay. And so what you'll notice is you get paid more as you go down your sales organization, because our compensation plan wants you to share this vision with other people. That way it can grow exponentially and the customer volume grows and grows and grows. And we just kind of duplicate that same model. But if you add up all of those 9,000 customers, you would have a residual of $11,000 per month that comes in month after month after month. Now, I saw this number, and when I first joined, the number was a lot higher because it was based on higher projections and things, which is just the way it is. But it was hard for me to believe that, because as a band director, it was just difficult to see that from a conceptualization standpoint. So what I thought to myself was, if I could do this 90% wrong, okay, I can only get 10% of this right, and I could have not 9,000 customers, but 1,000 customers that I aggregated about $1 per month per customer on in a residual. Okay. Not talking about any of the bonuses you could potentially make, which I'll hit here in a second. If I had $1,000 a month in residual coming in, that would be a huge thing when by the time I came to retire. And then I was only going to retire on about 40 to 60% of my highest annual salary. So I was like, look, if I could just do this 90% wrong and just get 10% of it right, I would be amazed at that opportunity. So thank goodness it didn't take me 30 years to do that. I've been with business for about 11 years, but consistently with consistent effort over time, it took me about 5 years for me personally, when I was able to step away from teaching so that I could, and other things that I were doing on a part-time basis, and dedicate all my time to this, because we had enough residual income coming into our bank on the 15th of every single bank account every single month that covered all of our living expenses. And to me, that was my personal definition of financial freedom, of having the options. What our big goal was to have my wife retire from full-time work as a doctorate in pharmacy, so she could be stay-at-home mom, and then I could be able to also be here as well. I still work tremendously hard. Probably the hardest I've ever worked before, but it's part of the process, and it gives you options that we just didn't have. And one of the hearts of what was ours to raise our kids from home and be able them to go into schools that we chose, that wanted them to attend. So super excited about the opportunity, as it is unlimited. And again, I talked about these bonuses, right? And obviously, if you get promoted and you help enough people share the business and help them gather their handful of customers, because again, I want to make this very clear. Nobody gets paid anything from our company without the acquisition of customers. Okay. So if you sign up a bunch of consultants and you don't help any of them gather themselves as their own customer, call their mom, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, contact people that they know, love, and trust, and just ask them, hey, do me a favor. If you could save money on your bill and I can make it lower and not cost you anything, any reason why you wouldn't help me out and be my customer and help me, in my pursuit to make some additional income with what I'm doing with Ambit Energy. And that's how you gather customers. Okay. Not everybody's going to be your customer. You just kind of have to just ask. And then people say yes, people say no. And you have to kind of be detached from the result and just kind of move on and keep talking and sharing the vision of what we're doing. But you can promote to different leadership levels after you help 6 consultants. I just want to make it very simple. You got to have 6 consultants to help them gather their first handful of customers to get promoted to the first leadership level of regional. And the very second that the system promotes you, which you've got a powerful back office system, when you get promoted to regional consultant, and you help a new consultant get started and they get their first 3 customers or 2 in Texas, they make a $100 bonus. You make a matching $100 bonus, but now you get an extra $55 bonus. So I just want to make that very simple. It just means you get paid more money for doing the exact same thing. So as a regional, your bonus now becomes $155 when you help a new consultant join and get their first 3 customers, okay, in 28 days. And then the key thing of leverage really kicks in, which is my most favorite part about this entire compensation plan, is that you help someone get started. Let's say you're a regional consultant and you help your good friend from Pennsylvania get started in the business because you used to be buddies in college, or he went to this college, you went to that college, and now they're living in Pennsylvania. Okay. You help them join the business. And then when your friend Jack in Pennsylvania joins the business, gets his 3 customers, he makes 100, you make 155 because you're regional. But then when Jack sponsors 10 people that you don't know and they get their 3 customers, all of his buddies, they get their $100 bonus. Jack gets his $100 matching bonus on all of them. But the system sees that you're a regional and you get that $55 bonus times 10. Now, this is an unlimited bonus. Okay. Unlimited bonus as many times as people join your business and your organization and they gather their handful of customers. And the only difference is when you get promoted to senior. Remember, if you remember at the beginning of the presentation, I talked about the 5-star trip. At senior consultant, now you can start competing for that 5-star trip. And the way you win points on the 5-star is, guess what? You gather a handful of customers and you show other people how to do the same thing. So you help consultants gather customers, which means eventually you do enough of that, people get promoted, and they reward you for getting people promoted and gathering customers and helping other people do the exact same thing. Okay. And when you become a senior consultant, you just get a bigger personally sponsored bonus. So when you help somebody get started at senior, they get 3 customers, they get 100, you get 235 right here with a mouse that's circled right there. And then the indirect people that you don't know, most likely, you get those 135 bonuses. Now, you get promoted to executive, it's 315. I'm an executive consultant in the business, and 215 for indirect. But I just want you to kind of see that as you grow your business and get promoted, you have essentially a marketing consultant business that you start. You have a regional consultant business, senior, executive, and then national. Ultimately, you get paid on all of these businesses and these bonuses of indirect consultants, because after you get promoted, you're now, bringing new consultants in, what we call your newer code. I like to just call it like a store, right? If you're in car sales, you start out as a marketing consultant and you're selling used vehicles. I'm not going to say the name of the vehicle. I don't hurt anybody's feelings, right? It's not about putting people down or what they drive or anything like that. My point is, I just want you to conceptualize how it works, right? You own a car dealership, you sell used vehicles, so therefore you don't make as much profit that you would if it was brand new. So then you get promoted and now you're selling the new cars at the dealership, okay? And then you do so well, now you're selling the luxury vehicles that are in the lot, okay? And then you're like, hey, look, now you manage this, and now I want you to open up another division in another state. Now you've got another company, same thing that you're managing, but you're still making profit because you're still, if you own the other dealership. So you just basically has multiple businesses that you own that you get paid on in royalties for consultants that gather customers. Again, that's all we do is help people keep the electric, natural gas, and solar, and help them save money on it. And then if that's not enough, we get a residual bonus in quarters on all of the customers. So I'm going to back this up real quick. Okay. So let's say you got those 10,000 customers on your 7 levels. Over time, your organization will grow even beyond your 7th level. Again, we can't promise anybody how your organization is going to grow, but over time, not overnight, you can have consultants and customers that are below your 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th level. I can only say what I have personally, which is down to like 19 levels, but some leaders have 40 and up to 50 levels deep of because they've been around much longer and had higher level of success, more influence with their consultants, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But you get quarter bonuses on every single customer in your regional, sales dealership, and then a senior, executive, and national. And if this were the case and you had 10,000 customers that were in your regional consultant business, and would you be okay with an extra 10,000 quarters as a bonus on top of the 7-level residual on top of the weekly bonuses? It's just a lot of money that's paid out. And Ambit Energy is like, hey, look, you can go out and do what you want to, get your customers, help your consultants. And it's kind of an open checkbook. You do the compensation, you do the work, and you help your team promote, you help your team grow. You'll have compensation as a result of that. So here's the investment part about it. It's only $75 as an investment. And it's a one-time fee with no annual renewal. So in 2009, we were in Texas and New York City when I first got started. We didn't launch our 3rd state, and then a small area of natural gas in Chicago, a NICOR area, but very small area in that state. But we didn't expand into technically our 4th state until 2010. And now we're in 16 states in DC, and I'll show you the map in a minute. But as we open up new territories, new states, new products, whatever we do in the future, you're not asked to pay more money. And the only operating expense you have as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, a 1099 contractor, is $24.95 per month. And you get a business building suite of websites. Okay. We've got a mobile app for consultants. Of course, we've got a mobile app for customers that they can use for free in their back office portal to check your usage and all that. That's free as a customer. But the Power Zone back office is what we have for consultants. And we also have a consultant app that you can use that has your websites on it, has a digital business card that's part of the $24.95 per month. That also covers you calling into consultant support, which they help support us and grow our business and things that happen at customer care here in Plano where the call center is. And then also your back office Power Zone, which tracks your commissions, tracks your organization, access to all the approved flyers and collateral, everything you need for advertising options, the things that are approved through the company. There's an advertising toolkit in there. You got everything that you need to grow your business, and all the websites are replicated and the video content. So you don't have to be a great speaker. You just have to use your website, ask people to take a look at what you're doing, and use the video website. And that's speed over strategy, especially with what's going on in the economy right now. And then as we go from there, I just want to open up your perspective because, I mean, it's difficult for me to sleep at night because of so much potential that we have into the future. So I mentioned to you right now, we currently do about 50 million in sales every 2 weeks. Okay. Every 2 weeks. We sign up customers. We help them keep their lights and gas and solar, help them save money. And it's 50 million in sales every 2 weeks. And we're looking to grow that. So we have 1.2 million customers in all of our different markets. We have the whole entire country of Japan over here, except Okinawa. And then we have the province of Alberta, which is a province. I can't call it a state. Okay. It's a province. Somebody corrected me on that a couple months ago. And then we have the 16 states in DC here in the US. Now, if you here in the US, that's about 70 million potential customers that we can go out and grab, and that are, and basically 97% of them are not our customers. I'll show you that here in a second. But of all the electricity and gas and solar these customers spend on utility bills in these orange areas, that represents $186 billion that they have to buy their energy from somebody. They might as well buy it from our mom and dad, called Vistra, okay, the $13 billion company, and we can provide that to them at a lower rate than many other competitions. And certainly the value and benefit that we provide is what we're looking for from there. And so I want to talk to you about this, from a perspective of opportunity of what's available, because if you're looking at this presentation for the first time, or this replay that comes up on a wall under the person's wall, you might be saying, hey, am I too late to the party because you guys are already in business for about 13 years? Well, if you look at this, you talk to 100 people, 97 out of 100 people are not ambient energy customers. Okay. And this is where, and worldwide, we have less than 1%. So we've got less than 3% market share as far as customer wise. So, I know we say we only have 1.2 million customers, but we also are the number one largest direct selling of energy in the world, and the 10th largest direct selling company of any product and service in the world. Yet we have 97% of the customers of this previous slide, 151 million customers, and 97% of that, they're not even our customers yet. Okay. So what does that mean for you? That means opportunity. Okay. Opportunity, right? A huge opportunity. And it all starts with this simple question as I kind of wrap up. How many people do you know that use electricity or natural gas? I mean, just think about it. Everybody you know, everybody you don't know in this economy right now, no matter what's going on in the economy, they're paying that bill no matter what. They pay it unconsciously, habitually, 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the year. It just gets paid. And, even if things are tough, you can not pay your car note, you can not pay your mortgage for quite some time, right? And that's kind of going on right now. From the government, whatever you want to call it, from that case, and options that people have, because, all companies are trying to help everybody out. And you not pay your credit card bills for a certain period of time, but, you still have to pay your utility bill at some point in time. You got to pay the meter man, right? And so that's kind of our focus on the business, is that we really believe that we add value because we're trying to help educate the consumer base and help them pay less and even get it for free. And then would you be okay with getting paid money weekly and then a recurring residual for sharing that opportunity with people? So as I kind of wrap up, like I said, this opportunity has really changed my life and our families. It gave us a trajectory of the options to be able to just, whatever comes our way, we have that residual income that comes in that covers our living expenses every single month. So it just kind of changes the way that you wake up in the morning. I'm not saying that that's the ultimate goal for everybody, because we have a lot of consultants that, as I mentioned before, an extra $100, $200, $300 a month really makes a positive difference in their life, and it helps them put more away for their kids' college fund. It helps them take care of a sick loved one. It helps them bill for their retirement. But there are a few things that I think I just want to point out as I wrap up here. Is the dynamics of our business. I mean, what we're marketing here, it's a service and not a product. There's great products out there, and I know a lot of customers use them. A lot of them order them from other direct selling companies, and that's wonderful. I just like the difference of dynamics, that this is something we're actually trying to help people save money on. And it's already in their monthly budget. It's no respecter of person. It's a utility bill. Okay. Do you want to pay more or less for it? And can I show you how to get it for free? Okay. And the other thing is there's really, there's very, very little to no product education in what we do. It's because, especially in the Northeast markets, they get the same bill from the same delivery company. They pay the same company they've always paid. It's just, would you like a lower supply charge that's guaranteed in writing to be less for the next 24 months? And in the other markets, we have very competitive rates throughout the season as well. And certainly here in Texas, it's an opportunity to really help people find some options and get the free energy. And the other thing is, it's the window of opportunity. We are such at the infancy stage, as far as, everybody thinks, hey, the plane is already kind of left off and it's off the ground. I'm looking up at it, and how can I catch the plane? Because the party's already started without me. That's just not the case, right? What I showed you was the factual information of the 151 million potential customers, and yet we have less than 3% market share. And again, as our partnership and merger with Vistra becomes more and more mature, we've already offered some great value in products here in Texas, and some things are going to be rolling out in the Northeast. And we've always had great guarantees of savings. So you're just going to see that continue to grow and build value with consultants. And I would just challenge you to kind of, grade yourself. I was a high school band director, so I was like, hey, I always did the grade thing, right? So, I'm not saying that there may not be an extra category that you don't fall in. So, don't take offense to saying, hey, if I don't fall in any of these categories, but this covers the broad base of it. You're either an A, B, or a C type person. Okay. If you are a C type person and you're like, hey, I just don't see it. Okay. I don't see it as, from an opportunity standpoint, and that's great. No problem. You don't see it as an opportunity at this moment in time. Maybe you can refer it to someone else as an opportunity for them, but certainly consider becoming the person's customer who, you may have seen this on their wall and they didn't necessarily invite you, like I mentioned, but just send them a message and say, hey, look, if you can save me money on my bill, I would love to be your customer. I might as well be a customer of somebody that I know, as opposed to somebody that I don't know. Okay. If you're a B type person, is that you want to be a part of the opportunity as a consultant, you just have some additional questions. Maybe you're like me. You're like, hey, I don't really know if I have the skill level, or I need more experience to do this. How does this work? Get back with the person that invited you. Or again, if you're watching this on their wall, their Facebook page, or see the replay, just see whose name it was, and then send them a message. Say, look, I saw the presentation and I really have an interest in becoming a consultant. I know I want to be a consultant. I just have some questions. Okay. We'd love to get your questions answered. We have multiple webinars throughout the week. You can see from this page on ambitatteam.com, and also other leader pages. And we have a Sunday night business builder call, and lots of great trainings from different speakers that are not in Ambit from a motivational leadership standpoint. So we try to call ourselves a compensation plan that's attached to, personal development at the same time, becoming the best person you can possibly be. So we always provide that from a training standpoint. And then if you're an A type person, you're like, hey man, can you just stop talking and let me sign up? Okay. You can get your business started right now. And you basically go to that person's website, give them a call. They can walk you through. You make that $100 investment to get started, and you can switch your own service. You just need 2 other customers or 2 Texas customers to get your first $100 bonus. And that'll pay you the following Friday. Whatever happens Friday, next Friday coming up is May 1st. So May 8th, you'd have the first $100. If you sign up for direct deposit, you'll have that $100 bonus in there. And there's additional customers you can gather to get more bonuses inside your first 60 days of being in the business. That's just gathering customers. So get back with the person that invited you. But if you're an A-type person, you're ready to get started, I just want to say welcome to the Ambit Energy family. There's so much opportunity ahead of us. And the only thing that's missing is you, right? Your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. And if we can help you grow your ambition, we can help you reach your goals by, helping you along the way in this business. I'm happy to be able to do that. I'm going to end the presentation. I'll wish you guys all the blessing, all the safety, and all the health that you and your family deserve. And if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me on